And we are live here on April the 3rd. Yep, it is April the 3rd. Wow, it's amazing. We are live and we are discussing things near and dear to, um, well, if I'm here to my heart and near and dear to you. All you need to do is put something up, populate something there in the comment section. Matter of fact, to begin, uh, populating that. I'm going to go ahead and copy the link. Okay, we got it copied. I'll throw it here in the comments. And if you feel emboldened or inclined, there's the link. You can join it at any point in time. And I'll see if I can go out there and let the people in Facebook land also know that I have gone live. Okay, so let's go on here. Go here. We're going to add a photo here. What we want to do is go find that photo. I went ahead and tried to create a thumbnail for doing this daily effort here, what I'd call middays with Scotty. And just so you know, we are live. All right, we'll go ahead and post that in. And there we go. It's up on the Facebook page as well today. Hey, I learned something about that whole Facebook thing. One of the things I have to do is not have secrets with your significant other, i.e., my wife. Turns out last night I was discussing uh, the creation. This is a new creation for me, this page. And I didn't do a stellar job of didn't do a stellar job of letting her know ahead of time. And so, yeah, that was a mistake on my part. So if you want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, a topic near and dear to my heart, that would be my wife, of course. Oh, by the way, everybody, you can say hello. That's my puppy dog, yeah, baby. Yeah. And she's chilling out on the chair there. Let's see if we can move this over just a little bit. We'll go like a little bit like this. There we go. A little more puppy, a little more. There she is. She's staying right there behind me because she's my wonder pup. Well, one of two. So she got a two for pup. Are you a two for pup? Maybe. She's rolling her eyes at me. She's like, Dad, I'm not having anything to do with that. She's like, my woman is silly. And that's a very true statement. Anyhow, so on this beautiful 3rd of April, which, by the way, is a Wednesday in here in 2024, today started out with a bang. Well, maybe not a bang, more of a whimper. Yeah, I went to bed last night whimpering. Why was I whimpering? Because I'm weak? Maybe. No, I was whimpering because somewhere along the line yesterday, I hurt my back. Yeah. Um, so yesterday morning started out, and like most mornings, like most Tuesday mornings, my morning started out with me going, "Oh no, I forgot to take the trash out." And here in North Alabama, in Huntsville, Alabama area, we never really know when the trash man is going to show up. Generally speaking, they show up in the morning time in the route um, that I'm on. And it isn't a surprise. The only time it changes is when there's bad weather or a holiday. No holiday, even though Monday was Ostermontag in Germany, right? In Deutschland, yeah. But we don't celebrate that here. So Monday wasn't a holiday here. So Tuesday rolls around, Tuesday morning, I'm kind of rolling around the bed because I'm in a quote unquote retired life. And oh, by the way, I'm not real fond of retired life. Anyhow, that being said, we'll discuss more about that later. I could have put the trash can out on Monday night. That would have been too easy. Is Scotty going to do that? No. So I'm rolling around the bed, don't want to get out of bed. The missus, she's already up. She already let the dogs out. That's one thing. Two is on the floor over here. And I go, oh, panic mode. Hurry up, get the trash out. So I ran to go get the trash. Well, the trash can. And on my way in, I passed by one of the dumbbells, a dumbbell that had been misappropriated. I had spent some time out on the old, what do you call that thing? Patio. Yeah. Anyhow, I went to retrieve that dumbbell, or the wife did, and she put it right by the door like I asked her. And it hasn't quite moved to the location it needs to go to. But that's okay. I went ahead and moved it. And in doing so, I came across it coming back in from taking the trash. And what does that mean? I just indiscriminately, first thing in the morning, not even had a coffee yet, I grabbed that little dumbbell and I decided to exercise. Exercise, exercise, exercise. And in doing so, I said, well, it's a 15-pound weight. What are you gonna do? Right. And I did something. What's going on? Are you good? Uh-huh. So anyway, I went ahead and exercised. I took that little dumbbell and I did some curls and I did some shoulder presses and I did some extensions, tricep extensions. I mean, 15-pound bell. It's warm up weight, practically chump weight. I mean, for the man I think I am. And then what I did to be really creative, as I left it for my hanging weight, I stood there with a dumbbell in my hand and I curled it up, rotated it, pressed it up all the way, and then brought it behind my head and did a tricep extension, and then back down again, rotated it, and went into the old curl. And I did, I don't know, 5, maybe 8 repetitions like that. No, first one hand, then the other hand, then the other hand. And it was quite dynamic. Well, that's great. I did a weightlifting. Yay, me. It's Tuesday. I said I'd do it, and I did it. I got it out of the way right away. Here's the challenge. Somehow or another, in doing all the things I did, I created a pain in my back. Man, it was right in the top of the thoracic spine, just a little bit to the left. I can't reach that to save my life. And boy, did I have a cramp. I went to bed last night and I was like, oh, my back hurts. And I took a Tylenol and I was like, I'll be okay. No. So I had really poor sleep last night. And I am not even kidding. I am like seriously saying, hey, I had bad sleep. And so there I was. Hello and welcome to the middays with Scotty, where we talk about the things you'd like to talk about. I've already thrown the link out there in the comment section. So if you want to come on live, follow that link, have your camera and your mic ready, and I'll bring you up. We can talk about the things that are important and near and dear to you today. Meanwhile, I'll regale you again with the continuation of I slept poor last night. And I slept poorly because, and it was my own fault. It's nobody else's fault. I mean, we're not looking to lay blame or cast stones or dispersions. But the bottom line is, I messed myself up because I didn't warm up and I moved a weight. So I did that in motion type things. And so I had a hard time. And I have great medications. Whew, do I have meds? But I didn't want to stack meds and I wanted to be somewhere this morning. And I know sometimes I'm taking meds and I start stacking them. Morning time doesn't happen on time. It happens when my liver's done processing all the junk I put into it. Therefore, I'm operating on about maybe 3 hours of sleep, interrupted sleep, uncomfortable sleep. So I was physiologically uncomfortable last night. And then I did some things yesterday and the day before that came to fruition that made me emotionally uncomfortable last night. And that all revolves around I wasn't totally transparent with my wife on some things I'm doing because I'm flittering left and right and back and forth, and I made a Facebook page to go along with my YouTube page. I figured if I want to do this for real, if I really want to be one of those evangelizing, spreading the word, and garnering support for my efforts in losing body fat and getting in shape and reforming things, well, then I'm going to do it. I got to go do it all the way. So I put a Facebook page together. Guess who neglected to inform his wife directly that I'd made a new Facebook page? Yeah, this guy. And so what does that really mean? It means last night when I was on with Russ from the Homesick Buckeye, and I thank Russ for having me on last night, let me crash his party. Um, yeah, he went ahead and called me in and he asked what was going on. I said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I made myself a Facebook page." Well, the door to the rest of the world in my house is right there, not that far away, and it was open. And the wife's like, "I'm not going to tell you, too loud," and she watched TV. So she came, she closed the door, but in the process, she heard about this new Facebook page. And I didn't cheat on her. I didn't do anything bad, but I really should have let her know. And it really was poor form on my part. But anyhow, cat's out of the bag now. Can't do anything about that. So yeah, so I felt like a schmuck. I really felt like a heel last night. And so there I am. You're not supposed to go to sleep upset or angry or something like that. And it wasn't that anybody was angry. There were no words or anything like that. But you just know. My wife and I have been uh, blessed to have a, a marriage that's lasted 32 years so far. And as long as I don't keep doing stupid stuff, it'd probably go for another 32 years or more. Well, in our book, it goes for eternity. But that was a bonehead on my part. So I go to bed, I'm hurting in my back. I'm boneheaded with my wife, my best friend in my life. And what can you say? I mean, what a bonehead, you know? So sleep wasn't great last night. The dreams weren't great last night. The stress was high. I mean, I don't know what my blood sugar was this morning, but I'm sure my blood sugar was pretty high because when I was laying in bed at 4 o'clock, it was 4:30, it was 4:45. Then I'm hearing the dogs. It's about 5 o'clock, and then we have the two dogs, and they were in their kennels. Their kennels are in our room, and I could hear them moving around and prepping for the day. And before you know it, I'm like, "Oh, the heck with this! I'm going to get up." And oh yeah, and I rolled over, and I could see my wife, and she's starting to go through her wake up routine. I could see she waking up, and I said, 98% of the time, she's the first one up and she takes care of the dogs. Sundays are about the only days that I get up before her. And um, I just got up and she goes, "You okay?" And she's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just don't feel good." And so I got up, took care of the dogs. And then I went off for breakfast this morning. And I meet with a group of guys from my church on Wednesday mornings at a local um, it's a local eatery. It's just a little, I don't know, greasy spoon. And yeah, we have breakfast and we chitty chat and we share things and we make sure everybody's good and we pass on the gossip. I know a lot of people won't tell you that, but men gossip just as much as women. We just call it something different. Anyhow, I went ahead and got that kind of going. And yeah, it's a rough day. I got all the way to this diner and putting things in my pockets and getting ready to go in and realized I did not have my wallet. Yeah. 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 I wasn't really worried about it because all I was going to get was a cup of coffee. I don't normally like to buy the food from the diner because I don't know what they're cooking in, and their prices to me are a little high. I'm a cheapskate. So I went rummaging through the little little container beside me, and I was able to find a couple dollars and change because it costs almost a couple dollars for a cup of coffee. Speaking of which, if you wanted to help me out, uh, other than pressing the like and the share and making comments, and feel free to make comments. You could always go to that link that's at the top of my page where it says buy me a cup of coffee. And that helps to offset the costs. Got to pay $22 a month for this a web streaming service. And I need to pay for the editing software. And I'd like to upgrade my editing software. Right now, I'm using a software. I bought it. It's a good software, but it creates the files way too big, and I don't really want to continue. It was a Power Director, and it works well. I can use it to put up videos. I can use it. Just makes really big files. It's not very, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not very conscientious of its digital footprint. And I'd like to use Premiere Pro. But again, you got to pay for a subscription service. So when YouTube is big enough and when there's enough income coming from YouTube, I'll move on to tools outside of what I already have. I've already gotten bitten last year. I wanted to do this and I wanted to get into gaming. I had a Twitch channel. I guess I still have a Twitch channel, but I got into gaming a little bit. It turns out I'm not a gamer. Who knew? 60 years old. I'm going to try something new. That wasn't it. I mean, I played a few games. I liked it, but I'm not good at it. And so in following that, I bought this new computer and I have this nice computer and it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the highest end type thing, but it's more than adequate for gaming and streaming. And so I said, I can't do that. But I ended up spending some serious dollars for it. And to pay for it, I thought, well, what I'd do is sell my plasma. So I went to the local plasma donor place and I donated my plasma and used most of that to pay it off. And oh, I forgot, by the way, I didn't really mention that to my bride. Yeah, that was not a smooth move. Not like she didn't notice the great big box. And it's not like I'm committing what do you call that? Felonious financial hardship for us. But I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I wanted to play games. I thought I could pull it off, pay it off before. Anyway, not a good move. So you see, I'm gonna be a wealth of things you shouldn't do. Now, married for 32 years, blessed with 3 children, now multiple grandchildren, a blessed life. But I still stub my toe on a regular basis. Yes, I do. And that was a big bonehead. I had another bonehead that went along with it. We found out about on tax day, but we'll talk about that another time. The wound is still a little sensitive. And then I made that Facebook page. Like a trifecta. I better be very careful. But no, it's all good. It's all good. And I paid for that last night with poor sleep, between the back hurting and my mind hurting and my heart hurting a little bit for my wife, for my bride. But here we are today. It's a great day, and went out and, like I said, had breakfast with the guys, and didn't have my wallet. And my bride was very nice. She called. She said, "Hey, by the way, do you realize you left the house without your wallet, punk?" No, and I said, "Yeah, but it's okay. I have enough change. I'll be able to pay for the coffee." And what do you know? One of my good friends, Al, he went ahead and he picked up my coffee for me today. He didn't have to, but it was awfully nice of him. And it it's one of the reminders of why we foster these relationships, particularly for retirees. You never know when you're gonna need somebody. You're gonna need someone to take you for a ride to the hospital. You're gonna need someone to bring you back from the hospital, pay for your cup of coffee, help you lift, help you do who knows a myriad of things. And so far in this last year and a half, I've received a lot of phone calls from other people who are retired or in some kind of dire need for service, and that's what I've been given these hands for service, right? For doing works and services and helping people, and so I do, and I do it with a glad heart because I'm realizing now that I'm over 60 that there's an event horizon that's um, I don't want to say it's prescribed, but it's there. Now, how this event horizon plays out to my ultimate uh, uh, final day is really kind of up in the air in a way. I mean, I know that I'm here today, and I know one day I won't be here. I believe, based on genetics and some things of that nature, I'm probably pretty good to 85 years old. My father's 89. My brother, he's like 65, 64. Um, my grandfather was in his 90s. My great grandfather was 100 on my dad's side. On my mom's side, my grandfather was in his mid 90s and had beaten 3 rounds of cancer, which, by the way, I just had an epiphany. He really liked his sweets. Wasn't fat. I think he was a toffee, to be honest with you. Thin on the outside, fat on the inside. But that aside, hmm, that's an epiphany. Um, there's no reason, genetically speaking, if I take care of myself, like my mother, God rest her soul, she did not take care of herself. She had some significant medical conditions and emotional conditions that eventually, I believe, led to such horrible dietary and lifestyle choices: 2 to 3 packs of cigarettes a day, pint of alcohol, hard alcohol a day, and being way overweight. That didn't work. I'm gonna tell you right now that does not work. And so she she passed away in 97 at the age of 60. I think she might have been 60, 61 years old. Yeah, going to be 62. Yeah. So, having said that, my genetics are predisposed for longevity to the 90s. Now, I did spend 20 years in the military. Well, my dad did too, but I did a little more deploying than my dad did. But I also know that I had more to do with, unfortunately, with alcohol early on. So we don't know what that's gonna be like. But all this, and I know I've been on here 22 minutes from rambling, but all of this to say that I've chosen this lifestyle of living in a carnivorous state, which to me can has a broader spectrum. It could be keto or ketogenic or to pure carnivore lion diet, right? I mean, all of it. What it really could be defined is by using subtraction what it isn't going to be. What it isn't going to be is never ending sweets, uh, donuts, milkshakes, breads, pastas, rice, those items. No more of that fruit cake washed down with eggnog like I did this last Christmas. No, absolutely no alcohol. Yeah. And all of this is precipitated because I got the fatty liver. And if you've come to this show before, you know that's probably my big focus right now until the doctors and the VA and the doctors at the military medical facility, until the specialists and everybody say, well, you really don't have a fatty liver. And oh, by the way, the scare you have for the portal vein hypertension, it's not really an issue for you. I'll be very happy at that point in time because right now that is dominating the landscape. I mean, you wouldn't know it. I guess I should do a better job of this, but I'm just going to be, stand by to be going ooh, but it's reality, right? And I was talking with people last night. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do in the show. I'm just going to be me. So me is ooh sometimes. But in this hand right here, you can see all those are the strips I've used, and a little needle I've used for poking my finger to get a glucose reading because I want to make sure that. Well, let me back that up. I can say because I have a waist circumference greater than 40 inches that I have metabolic dysregulation, of which there is no denying. I'm metabolically, quote unquote, unhealthy. Um, I have been told I've had a fatty liver now for the past couple of years. I know my weight is too high. Now, my blood markers aren't the worst in the world. They're pretty good. My fasting glucose, what was that? A couple of weeks ago? My fasting glucose was 94, 95. Was that you? Hmm. 94, 95. So I don't have a glucose problem that I know of. And I'm waiting to get my insulin checked because I'm not sure where my insulin is. When I got my blood test done a couple weeks ago, they didn't do an insulin test. They checked my triglycerides. My triglycerides were really good. My triglycerides were like maybe 79. And then last night, looking at things, we found that my insulin in one of my last tests, in I want to say September of last year, my insulin was pretty low, and my A1C is pretty low. And I just now checked my glucose, and my glucose is 94. There you go. Got a little thing there. So glucose is okay right now. My A1C seemed to be okay. My insulin last checked was okay. My AST, ALT time before last was really good, but this last time my ALT was a little elevated, not dangerously, but it was elevated. So the big question really right now, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that my fatty liver is better than it has been in the last 3 or 4 months. But am I quote unquote in remission from fatty liver? Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it highly. But even my fatty liver, which is concerning, isn't the biggest concern, I think, after listening to Dr. Bickman. I would say that my biggest concern at this point in time would be the state of my metabolism and am I metabolically healthy? Well, because my belly is still over 40 inches, I say no. Now, I would ask the question, and if any of you ever get a chance to, if someone comes in who knows, the idea that metabolic health means men have a waist smaller than 40 inches and women smaller than 42, is that for a standard sized person? I'm 6'5", so I'm pretty tall. You probably can't tell here on the camera, but anyway. So being 6'5", do I get another inch or two? Is 42 inches okay by me for metabolic fat? I don't know. I don't know that there's any real good studies on how it changes when you're huge. Um, but or not huge, but when you're tall. So I don't know. Um, but I'm just thinking that hmm. I'm just thinking that there should be some leeway there. That's the word I'm looking for. When I was in the military, I had leeway because I was tall. I was allowed to weigh more. They only wanted me to weigh 236. The doctor said I could weigh 249. So I had a waiver for that. The other thing about it is being tall. Tall people have bigger organs. If I have a bigger liver than the average Joe Schmo, then maybe my portal vein will be larger than the average Joe Schmo. I don't know. But again, I don't know. I don't see a lot of literature out there. But again, I'm not great on that. Uh, so I'm working. I'm doing something else. I'm doing multiple things. I uh, I don't know how well I can multitask. I'm just doing a quick note here. So anyhow, I don't know. So I'm waiting to find out how that works with my liver and with the potential for that portal vein hypertension. I don't have any of the other things that come along with it, except my the fatty liver. We don't know if that fatty liver infiltration is so bad and been there for so long that I'm beginning to have cirrhotic scarring. Now, if I have cirrhotic scarring, you would think my um, chemistry would be off, but I'm not really seeing the chemistry off. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. It's a wait and see life. But we're just treading water here day by day, and in doing so, there's all the other things that happen. So it's amazing. You have your conditions of your condition, right? You're overweight, or you're type 2 diabetic, or you have chronic inflammatory bowel diseases like IBS, or whatever it is, or being asthmatic like I am. But all those things are just one or two, those are just layers that make up the whole person that we are. And the whole person that I am also has to deal with, struggling to acclimate to being retired, which I don't know how much longer that's going to last for. But I might have a job and that works. But you know, learning how to be in this different stage of life, learning how to deal with kids who are far away. I've got another grandchild on the way. The grandchild number 9 is on the way out in South Dakota. That's a big one too. So there's so much to adapt to. And then we're coming into springtime, coming out of winter. There's a house stuff to take care of. As you all well know, this is life has a lot of stuff going on usually, and my stuff is enough for me to barely handle, and I think other people have their lives, and you have your life and the interaction with other people, and so I come here to collaborate with you. I come here to share with you, and I'm mindful of a meme I've seen here. I wish I had brought props, but I didn't. So imagine, if you would, in one hand, I'm holding a brick. In the other hand, I'm holding a sponge. And over each one is a faucet, a cartoon faucet. And water is spilling out of the faucet, one onto the brick and one onto the sponge, or vice versa, whichever one works for you. And then it had a caption. And over the one that it said brick, or under it said listening to respond, and the one over the sponge, listening to learn. Why, wow. Does that not hit you right in between the eyes? How often are we just listening to respond to somebody? Well, here, and what I'm going to work toward doing in this midday with Scotty is to listen to you, to be a sponge, and to provide just things going on in my world and in my life. And it isn't that my life is spectacular, or that my life is something to model after. But who knows? Maybe I've walked part of that road you're on. Maybe you've walked and you can help me. That's the beauty of this. And you can comment in the comments, or you can come live. I have the link right there in the comments. If you put that in your browser and you have your camera and you have your mic ready to go, you can come on here with me. It's not going to be me all the time. Yesterday we had folks come up. We've had folks come up before, and we'll do it again. Um, do, 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 do. I don't know if someone's trying to do some other work with me, and I apologize. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to keep things moving, keep things engaging, and I'm trying to make sure that in all the different layers, I don't get lost. I know that can happen a lot. Like if you're at work and you're the type of person who just doesn't punch the clock in and punch the clock out. If you're not a clock watcher. And I understand clock watching, been in those positions before. But if you're an engaged person in your place of work, whether you are an employee, a manager, or an owner, right? Uh, if you're engaged, and the amazing phenomena takes place where people tend to go to you to ask you to get things done, and before long, you are task saturated, and then you bring tasks home or you stay late, and before you know it, you've lost yourself, and the business is using you. I know when my wife and I owned a small business before, we learned that age old uh, uh, truth: you don't own the business owns you. And so life is like that. And when you lay on different aspects, when you're a parent and you're doing the active parenting now, thankfully for me, my youngest is 31 years old. See, this is a 4 year. You're born in a 3 year. Yeah. You're going to be 31 years old. Um, that's my youngest, who gave me grandchild number 9. Thank you. But it's so easy to get caught in all those things. And then one day you look in the mirror and you go, who am I? What have I become? What am I doing here? How did I get here? Do I even want to be here? I think I've had all those conversations. And then, maybe along the way you picked up a few ghosts in the machine, you know, might get a little anticlimactic in your life, get depressive, get manic. Been there, done that. Have the medications. I found that the medications don't work well for me. When I had to take medication for anxiety, depression, all they did is made me sick and want to throw up. Stopped taking the meds. Didn't need to throw up anymore. Started doing a little something outside of the house, doing a little something. Of course, then that new something became something that became um, dominant in my life. So that leads to other things. But then you look one day and you're fat, you're out of shape. And I know round is a shape. I know all the jokes. I know all the ones where they say, "Oh, but you're tall, you wear it well, you're not fat." No, I am fat. You know, you don't have to be obese, like, you know, um, Biggest Loser obese, before you go, "Oh, I think I'm a little fat." You know it. And so all these things, they just bang on you. They just hit you. And then you one day you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you reach out, you call out, and you find out there are people who've been around you, who've been reaching to you, but maybe what they've been offering just doesn't resonate with you. Yeah, you know? It isn't that their heart wasn't in the right place, but someone's gonna offer you one of these, someone else is gonna offer you another one of these, right? And and you're trying to figure out, and you're looking and go, "No," and then finally one day, someone offers you a this, a yes, and you respond with your yes, and then you start to, work things out. And, I found my yes, I found my things, and you start working out, but in my case, you find out, well, you put on the 50 pounds. Oh, okay, 65. You put on 65 pounds, you put them on in an ugly way, you've gotten way out of condition, and now I wanna run right back into it and get it all back and right now, and it doesn't happen that way. Spent 23 years getting to this point, losing 20, gaining 20, losing 10, gaining 12. You all know the story. But you know what? This last year, well, actually 3 years ago, I kept watching Dr. Sean Baker do his January, eat the meat thing and, carnivore challenge, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it, yeah." Um, yeah, that's awfully hard to do when you're, in a family situation. I'll just leave it that way. But I'd do it, and I'd have some success, and I'd be off, and the siren song of, uh, um, eggnog and cookies and chocolate and, oh, tortillas with butter and beans and rice and noodles and pasta. You get the whole idea. All of it calls me back, and I go running back to it. Like, you know how that Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football thing? And Lucy can come on, kick the ball. And Charlie Brown goes, no, you move the ball. And then Charlie Brown runs after it, gives it the big college try and kicks with all his might. And she moves the ball and boom, and he flat on his keister or on his back, seeing stars. Well, that's me come October. Comes October. Come on, kick the ball. And whoop, and bam, and I hit the ground. And then sometimes I say, I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up. I'm not going to try to kick the ball. I'm not going to get up. I'm just going to sit here. And what happens? This happens. So, what does that mean in the end? In the end, it means I finally got on carnivore last year. I stuck with it for a number of months. I went off program, off planet, and now I'm back. And we're going to get this under control, and we'll make it all good. And from that, we're going to carry on here in middays. And I invite you all to join me if and when you can. So tomorrow, we'll see you on the same bat channel, the same bat time. I appreciate the 4 of y'all who've been in here for a minute. I appreciate the rest of you all who will come in afterwards. And you take care and God bless. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.